Issues in nonprofit program evaluation. Treatment fidelity is defined as the congruence between the way a program is designed and how it is carried out in practice. Infidelity can occur when clients don't follow treatment plans or when staff deviate from procedures and protocols. And a lack of fidelity threatens internal validity. A program may be seen as effective when it really isn't, and of course, vice versa. Ensuring treatment fidelity, in order to ensure treatment fidelity, staff must be well trained and supervised, staff must have clear and achievable directives, and group meetings should be held to continually discuss service delivery. Program drift is also bound to happen. Over time, programs get modified and morph into something different from what they were originally intended to be. For example, a child welfare organization providing financial planning to parents to address recidivism. Politics, any evaluation can be perceived as political. Evaluations are intrinsically threatening. People are suspicious of a hidden agenda. There are ethical dilemmas facing the evaluator, especially if the evaluation is negative. Political pressures on evaluators include the push to present agency in the best possible light, to ignore unflattering findings, to focus on strengths and not weaknesses. The guidelines for evaluation in politically charged environments is just to maintain as much independence as possible, negotiating a contract, getting information from as many sources as possible, and to explain the purpose and methodology of the evaluation to staff. The threat of evaluation is that everyone fears negative evaluation. Employees may see this as an excuse for cleaning house, and sometimes that may indeed be the case. There's also an emphasis on cultural sensitivity in that you're assembling an ethnically diverse team for data collection and analysis. Lay people from the community should be invited to collect data, use instruments that have been tested for cross-cultural validity, translated into another language might be one of the options that you have available to you. Being aware of cultural differences and identification. For example, a Hispanic person may be white or black. Self-identification may differ from person to person. You may also want to offer a small monetary incentive for people's participation, but there are conflicting thoughts on that. These are some theories related to the issues in nonprofit program evaluation. Theory X posits that people are lazy and will avoid work. People can't be trusted. People prefer to avoid responsibility. People lack self-motivation. People prefer to be told what to do. Whereas theory Y posits that people inherently do not dislike or avoid work. People are self-directed and have self-control. They are committed to their work. People seek responsibility and autonomy, and people are creative and resourceful. Theory X is more consistent with scientific management, while Theory Y is more consistent with sociological management, although you'll see plenty of crossover between the two. Theory Z is a newer idea where you're actually bringing together Theory X and Y in larger organizations where everything is compartmentalized into smaller groups, and those smaller groups may employ Theory X versus another smaller group within that organization employing Theory Y. Ultimately, the major issue in nonprofit program evaluation comes down to efficiency versus effectiveness. Once again, effectiveness is doing the most, which is the micro perspective, and efficiency is doing the most with the least, which is the macro perspective. Often you'll have staff that are so focused on doing the most for their community or their organization or their policy that they don't take into account the costs associated with doing the most, versus the macro perspective where people may be so concerned with the amount that change will cost that they're apprehensive toward doing anything effective. So you can be over effective in that sense, or over efficient in another sense, in that you're not willing to spend the appropriate amount of money to create the appropriate amount of change. Ultimately, this is what ends up being the major struggle in most nonprofit programs.